How much do you actually need invested to quit your job, not to retire at 65 with the golden watch, to actually stop trading your time for money on your terms, on your timeline? This is a question that I get from a lot of individuals, more than probably any other on this channel. And today I want to break down the real math because I too want to retire long before 65. It is not the oversimplified version that you sometimes see, not the rule that was designed in the 1990s, the updated 2026 numbers, what it really takes to retire. So let's go ahead and get into it. So at the starting point, we have to calculate the withdrawal rate. This is the percentage you can take out of your portfolio every single year without running out of money, which happens to a lot of individuals. The classic number that we've always heard of was 4%, but Morningstar's 2026 retirement research now puts a withdrawal rate at about 3.9% over a 30-year retirement. It sounds like a very tiny difference between the 4% and the 3.9, but it does make a big difference when you do the math. At 4%, that $1 million portfolio yields you $40,000. At 3.9%, that $1 million portfolio, of course, $39,000. You're looking at about $100 difference every single month, which is very manageable, but this is where it gets very important. If you're planning to retire early like I am, let's say in your 40s or even in your 50s, you might need that money to last 40 to 50 years instead of just the 30 years that a majority of people forecast. When we start looking at this, the recommendation is going to 3.25 or even 3.5% if you are planning to retire early so you don't run out of money. So the number I'm going to use for today's math, 3.5%, the conservative version that can actually prolong your retirement and have a much longer retirement and a much earlier retirement. If you're closer to that traditional retirement age of 65, 4% is a good starting point when it comes to the actual math. So let's get into the real numbers, guys. I want to do three scenarios: 40,000, 60,000, and 80,000 a year in annual expenses. This, of course, is going to be very specific to your situation and exactly what your bills are. If you still have a mortgage, this is going to vary really greatly depending on exactly where you live, what job you have, your retirement portfolio, because those annual expenses cover a majority of individuals watching this channel. And I want to break down the 25x classic number and the updated 28 to 30x number so you can really see the range. So if you're an individual that needs $40,000 a year, you're going to be targeting $1 to $1.14 million for retirement with an extended amount of time. If you need roughly $60,000 a year, you're talking $1.5 million to $1.71 million. And if you're needing $80,000 a year, you're talking $2 million to $2.28 million based on the annual spend and depending exactly how much you need during retirement. Those are the honest ranges when we start running the math. If you're retiring at 60 or later with Social Security, the lower number is absolutely going to work. If you're retiring at 45, potentially even retiring at 50, you're going to have a long withdrawal period ahead of you, even before you start supplementing with Social Security. Then you want to be on the much higher range of that scale, not because the math guarantees you're not going to run out of money, but if you use the lower number, it is almost guaranteed that the funds will run out before you have 40 years during retirement. You want a little bit of a protection. You want a little bit of a buffer in here, especially when it comes to the risky returns. If you have to take money out in a down market, that can be the absolute single biggest threat when it comes to retirees. A bad year, 1, 2, maybe even 3 years in the market could permanently derail the efficiency and really the mathematically sound plan that we're talking about. Then we get into Social Security. So Social Security benefits as of January 2026, $2,071 a month, which equates to about $25K a year. If you plan to collect Social Security at 67, you can go ahead and subtract that $24,000 if you're waiting. Example for this, if you need $60K, Social Security is going to cover $25,000 of that, meaning you only need the additional $35,000. You might not even need $1 million or the 1.17. You might need far less depending on your expenditures. Early retirement, Social Security, of course, cannot be applied to or received until 62. So you might have to step it up earlier years, which could again affect your portfolio. The Social Security range number really changes everything, guys, and a lot of people don't realize this. If you're planning a traditional retirement and expecting to get Social Security at 67, the portfolio target or the amount you need invested is going to change dramatically. The person that needs $1.71 million to cover essentially $60,000 a year might only need 1 million or even less than a million because of claiming Social Security at 67, because that of course is going to cover that 25,000. The math is completely different depending on the individual, and including if you have a pension, if you have government income, if there's any other supplement income, you have to know your money. Now let me go ahead and connect this with what we talked about Monday, looking at the VOO as the 60%, VIG as 25%, the QQQM at 15%, because the question is not how much you need, it is what kind of portfolio is going to generate the income or the growth at the different balance levels that are required. So when we look at a portfolio of $500,000, you're talking about $17,500 a year at that 3.5% withdrawal rate that we talked about. If you're looking at $1 million portfolio, that is your $35,000, the 3.5%. If you're at the 1.5 million, you're talking $52,500, again at that exact same rate. And if you have a $2 million portfolio, you are talking $70,000 a year, because a portfolio that's specifically, depending on how much you have, is going to make a big difference when it comes to living off it during retirement. A VIG position at 25% of $1 million portfolio is going to have roughly $4,500 a year in dividends income at the current yield, and those yields are going to grow every single year as the underlying companies continue to raise those payouts. Now, the income really you can collect without selling a single share. Combined with the VOO capital appreciation, the QQQM's growth engine, the portfolio is designed to really do both, grow in its entirety, generate income simultaneously. The dual function is what makes it really work as a retirement vehicle and not just the accumulation vehicle that we've done for years and years. Then, of course, there's one expense that everyone tries to calculate and you can get completely wrong, and it can blow up all of the solid plans that we make. That is healthcare. If you retire before the age of 65, you are not eligible for Medicare, which means you have to buy private insurance. And if you looked or potentially go uninsured, it is very, very expensive. If you're looking at 10 to 20 years before you can get Medicare, the average individual premium when it comes to health insurance in 2026 is about $500 to $800 a month, depending on your state, depending on the plan. So you're talking $6,000 to $9,000 a year just to go and have healthcare, which a lot of people in those FIRE calculations never think about that, because that is an actual annual expense that you're going to have even before you calculate that FIRE target that people do have. If you think you need $50,000 a year to live comfortably, you might actually need $56,000 to $60,000 depending on the healthcare needs. And of course, healthcare costs if you actually use it, which means you might need a portfolio of 1.43 to 1.7 million, which is a $280,000 difference, because a lot of people overlook this expense in this category. You have to know your healthcare numbers before you get in. Now, of course, guys, there are three very specific things that can really compress your timeline. One, increasing those savings rates, not just your income. Every single percent that you're putting into retirement accounts, investment accounts, that is going to accelerate the ability for you to actually buy your time back. The second one is really the coast FIRE approach we've seen. Your portfolio is large enough to really reach that FIRE number without going and building up or adding additional money in there, and you can just let it grow at the historic rate. You have hit the coast FIRE, where the money you're generating in a portfolio is going to cover your expenses in its entirety. You can stop maxing out those contributions, let it run for all of retirement. Many people who hit this, they can retire decades before that age of 65. And then three, do not interrupt the compounding when it comes to investing. Every year you stop contributing to the portfolio is money, and it can reset some of the timeline. The single most expensive thing when we start looking at something like the FIRE movement is stop during the market downturns. That is the time you want to be investing. That is the time when you should be buying more, because you're buying it at a discount when you start looking at it. So the framework for this, guys, take your real annual expense, include those healthcare costs if you want to retire early, multiply it by 28 if you want the conservative, or by 25 if you do have Social Security or other income that you can draw without the investment accounts. That is the target. Check your current balance against it. The gap is your mission, what you need to earn. When we look at the VOO, the VIG, the QQQM, that is the portfolio that we covered on Monday. The withdrawal rate is really the destination you're trying to get to. If you need, and knowing exactly if you need 40, 60, 80, $100,000, because put them together, you have a complete picture of the ability and the time frame that you have when it comes to really retiring in general. So drop that retirement number right into the comments down below, the actual dollar amount that you're targeting, and drop exactly what percentage you're putting into your investment accounts. I read every single comment and I will reply to them. Subscribe to this channel if any of the videos this week have been incredibly useful, because of course we're doing this every single day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.